Let me show you how you can use Gemini AI to turn your browser into a task agent that can do pretty much anything that you want. Most people recognize Gemini AI as a chatbot that you can ask questions to and get responses for. Like here, I asked it to give me some examples of what it can do. It could write emails, it could refine work, it could streamline tasks, stuff like that. But what it doesn't do directly from here is it can't actually control your browser. You have to do the clicking and the navigating on your own. This is where this library browser use comes in. It makes it so that you can give Gemini a bunch of tasks and it can actually do them step by step, decipher what the steps are, and then navigate through your browser and complete the tasks that you had at hand. And what exactly do I mean by that? Well, let's take this as an example. You can see here in this video that it's actually going to the store and buying a bunch of groceries for you. This is something that you can create with this library. So let's go ahead and get into how to set it up and get an example running. The first thing that you're going to need is Python. So you'll need to install that onto your system. You can install it by going to python.org/downloads. And from here, you can get the latest stable release. You can make sure that it's installed by opening up command prompt and typing python -- version, and it'll give you a version. You'll also want to have an IDE or a text editor. For me personally, I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever text editor that you want. Most of our stuff is going to be ran inside of a terminal, so I wouldn't worry about which IDE you're going to be using. Once you have VS Code open, you want to create a folder that we can put the project inside of. So I'm creating this new folder called Browser Agent to put the project in. Next, we'll want to open up the terminal to do a few different commands, one of which is creating a virtual environment for our Python project. So the first command that I'm writing is python -m venv, and then you name it whatever you want. For my particular case, I'm naming it .venv. We create a virtual environment so that we can keep the Python version that we want, and we also get to put all of our specific dependencies that we want to use inside of our project in this one folder. Once it completes, we need to activate our virtual environment so that we start using that inside of our terminal. If we go over to the left and click on this drop down on our new folder that was created, we can also see inside of scripts that we have a few activate scripts. These are the ones that we want to use based off of what terminal that we're using. In my case, I'm using PowerShell. You can tell by the PS at the front of the command line, as well as it says PowerShell up here. This means I want to use the activate.ps1 script. If I just drag this over and then hit enter, it will automatically activate this virtual environment. Next, we need to install the browser use library. We can do that by typing in pip install browser-use and then hit enter. Now I have all of these dependencies cached, but you might not. It might actually be downloading each one for you, which might take a while. It also has to add folders for each dependency inside of our virtual environment folder. So this could take a little bit of time. Once it's finished, if we open up the virtual environment folder and then open up the lib directory, we can see all of our dependencies and all of the folders associated with those dependencies inside of this site packages folder. Now I'm going to clear this terminal because it's getting a little bit messy. I'll just type clear and it clears the terminal. Now the last thing that we need to do on the terminal is we have to install Playwright. Playwright is a testing application and allows us to navigate our Chromium browser through code alone. To install Playwright, we just type in playwright install. Once that's installed, we can write the Python that we need in order to utilize browser use. Inside of my Explorer window, I'm going to right click and then click on new file. And now I'll just call it agent.py and hit enter. Now we don't need this terminal view anymore, so I'm going to close out of it. So now what code are we going to write? Well, the maintainers of the browser use library actually have examples inside of the repository that we could try out. So if we go to the repository and then navigate to examples and then models, there are a few different examples in here that we could test. Since I want to use Gemini for my example, I'll select the gemini.py file. So now I'm on this gemini.py file. I can copy all of the code. And don't worry, all of the URLs that I'm talking about are going to be in the description. So you can just click on them and pull up what you need to pull up. So now let's go back to our editor and paste this file in. Now there's just one last thing that we have to do before we can run this agent. We need to go and grab our Gemini API key and put it in a .env file. So if we go to the AI Studio website and then click on Get API Key, it'll take us to this web page. The only thing we have to do is click on Create API Key and it will give us an API key. I've already done that, so I'm going to click on the API key that I have and hit copy. Now we'll go back to Visual Studio Code and create a new file. We'll name this file .env. Inside of this file, we'll want to make a Gemini API key. We'll just have one entry. We call it Gemini_API_key. and we'll set it equal to the key that we just copied. Then make sure that you save the file. And if we go back to our agent.py, we can now create a task that we want it to do. If you scroll down on line 21 of this example, there's this task. And inside of this task, we can write whatever we want. This particular task is saying go to URL r/local llama subreddit and search for browser use in the search bar and click on the first post and find the funniest comment. So you can replace that string with any task that you want this agent to process. So now let's run this. You can either open up the terminal again and type Python and then the name of the file that you created, or since I'm in Visual Studio Code, I actually have this play button right here. I'm just going to click on this and it should run this code. So now you'll notice it opens up a browser window and it should do all of the navigation and stuff for us. So now that it's finished, we can check the log output to see what the result was. You can see here that we have a result and it says the funniest comment according to the extraction is, yeah, as soon as I saw that part, I was like, that Knuckles meme. I don't really know what that means, but that's our result of searching for the funniest comment inside of that post. It's also cool because if you scroll through this log, you'll get to see what the agent is trying to memorize and what it's trying to do on each one of the web pages. So you can see like the first step, it had one action and it was going to this URL. Then once it navigated to that URL, it says it was successful. And then it remembers exactly what its task is supposed to be and what the next step is supposed to be. So it knows the next thing it needs to do is input browser use into the search bar. So you can see how it incrementally steps through all of the steps to get to its final goal. Now the time that it takes for all of this to happen depends on the model that you're using and the rate limits that you might have. Sometimes you could run into rate limit problems, in which case it can't actually finish because it ran into those roadblocks. You could get parsing errors because the response from the AI might be invalid because it's supposed to be responding with JSON. Sometimes it might not. And in that case, the program kind of shuts down on itself. And sometimes the less powerful models can't even complete the task. So our example was using the Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental model. There is the light preview model that could be a little bit faster, but is a smaller model, so it might not complete your task properly. It's all like a balance of trying to figure out which model is the fastest at what you want it to do, but also will complete the task. There are other models that you can use, and you can check those out inside of the AI Studio. When you go to create a prompt, if you go over here on the right, you can see all of the models that are available to you and their prices. The input and output pricing are the prices that it costs for each one of these per 1 million tokens. Now I'll say 1 million tokens is quite a lot of tokens. This prompt that we just did probably used somewhere around like 10,000. So that's why these models are really inexpensive to use from an API perspective. You also always have the free access down here at the bottom for the rate limits, 15 RPM, 1500 requests per day, and those requests will keep you in that free tier. If you have any questions about this, put them in the comments below, and that is how you use Gemini in your browser to do whatever task that you want utilizing that browser use library.